Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Press Box. Brian Carson here with my good buddy and co-host Kenny Varner. How you doing, Kenny?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm feeling pretty good, And we got a good guest on tonight. Before we get to that, I want to let everybody know you can watch the stream at the following links. We have them posted up there on our Facebook Central PA Sports page and on our YouTube channel, The Press Box. And we are glad and happy to have Juniata High School cross-country coach Jeff Miller here to be with us for the hour. And Jeff, how you doing, buddy?
Pretty good. How you doing?
Not too bad. Glad to have you on here.
Glad to be on.
All right, let's get started. Oh, I put up the links again. We already have that. Jeff, you're pretty optimistic this year, and you proved it at the Big Valley Invitational when you came out, won the AA race, and in the combined standings were only behind State College. You scored 39 points, and if I'm not mistaken, I believe 5 or 6 of your kids medaled.
Yeah, right. Six of them medaled at that meet.
I'm sorry, Logan won it. So I know you told me you had runners that are just out for their first year. Did you expect this? Did you knew coming in? Did you know that you were going to have a team that will challenge for the District 6 AA team title?
Yeah, I thought of any years that I've been coaching down there that this year would be my best chance. Coming into the season, well, I only had 3 strong guys. I needed 5, and I got very lucky in getting a kid from East Juniata, Wesley Irisman, and Levi Zeiders, because we actually were able to do a co-op with JCS, and we got one boy there, and we got Levi, and he was actually coming up working with my high school coach, Ron Sprecher, in the youth there for about 2 months. And he got into his head, and he gave up soccer, and Spreck's been a real help in that process. Or I would be one guy right there that I'd be doing without. It's a real big help to the team.
Yeah, I mean, I know he was your high school coach, Ron Sprecher, with the Striders for a long time. He's done so much for running around this area, hadn't he?
Yeah, Mifflin County gets a lot of their high school cross-country runners through his program, and I don't get too many down there. It's a little bit more traveling up there. We do get a few, but they definitely have a little edge on me up in Mifflin County because of all the ones that he works with. But Levi is one example. Garrett Boblitz, that's kind of why I'm down at Juniata to start with, is Garrett coming down there and me, kind of coaching him independently. And then we got a team formed down there at Juniata. And then, my love for the sport and all, it's like I'm willing to help anybody that wants to be serious. So, it's kind of funny how things work. I didn't think I was ever going to be a head coach, but I got kind of talked into it. And now I don't really want to give it up.
Nice. And Garrett, he's a junior now, right? Or a senior?
He's actually a junior already. Yeah.
At the Naval Academy.
Yeah.
Man, time flies.
Yeah, it does.
But back to the BVI, did you expect, in the first race, I don't know if you have high expectations in the first race or not of the year, but did you expect them to come out and run like that?
No, not really. Especially the 2 guys there, the new guys, Levi and Wesley, my 4th and 5th runners. I didn't expect them to run quite that well yet. My top 3 with Logan and Wyatt and Joey, I kind of figured they'd be pretty close to what times they ran. We went into the meet. I was trying to just build up a huge base of aerobic fitness over the summer and just holding back on throwing too much intensity too soon to run like any great times early. We went into that just to test ourselves to see where we were, and it proved that a lot of easy, high mileage, not necessarily high mileage, but we did a lot of biking also, but that did a lot for our systems, and we ran well off of that. So that made, especially Logan, he's a smart individual, feels pretty confident that when we do some serious workouts like we did yesterday, that he's going to drop some more time. So it was exciting for everybody to know what we were able to accomplish off of really so little training. So that's pretty promising for come districts.
There's something you just said that caught my ear. Biking.
Yeah.
Is that common to train that way in cross country, or is that something that's unique to you?
That's a little unique to me. It's definitely a little risky with kids out there along the road, but Juniata County is really good for back roads. But my thing on that is I've been doing that myself for over the years, and running is hard on you. You get a lot of injuries, and my belief is, especially early summer, instead of putting all those miles in June and all running and with the more risk of getting hurt, we mix it up with running. We do a lot of biking, and as the season gets closer, we cut the biking out. But I mean, Logan has probably 1,200 miles in since June.
Wow.
Most probably 1,100 of that with me. Joey and Wyatt have a good bit there. Jesse Baumberger. We're trying to get more as the years go by. You have to be careful getting too many out there at one time. But I'm trying, like, actually today, we had a hard workout last night, the hardest workout we did. And I just shot the kids a text and said, it's cross training day tomorrow, swim, bike, hike, whatever. I felt like we can gain more by doing that than even running today and risk more injuries. Some of my kids haven't been running that long, so I know the risk of getting hurt is a lot higher. So biking is so gentle on the body. As long as you don't crash, it seems to loosen these kids up too, and they feel great after a ride. We don't ride that hard on a day like today as a recovery day. But
have they taken to it? Do they like that, being on the bike?
Yeah. My other thought with that too is if you're running from June clear until the end of October into November when states are, that's a long time to be running. Running's not quite as exciting as a lot of other sports. So if cycling is mixing it up, you're working a lot of the same systems. And if we can have a little bit of fun with it also, it will make us not be ready for the season to be over when districts come, because you still want to be hungry when districts come. You don't want to be like ready for the season to be done. So that's kind of my theory a little bit with mixing up the cycling. So just, you get to know these kids every year. Some of them, by the time you get into 6-8 weeks into mandatory practice, some of them are, you can tell they're just a little bit burnt out on it. So most of the time your serious ones like a Garrett Balblitz, Logan Strasser, they don't get like that because they have big goals and all, but not everybody's like that. So
right.
You kind of have to adjust for everybody.
Go
ahead, Kenny.
I was just gonna say, talking about Logan as he's definitely been burning up the cross country this year, but kind of talk about his off the field, off the course. You said before that he was like a real good leader. How does he help the other kids?
Oh, he's willing to do anything I ask him to do. I shot him a text last night. We're trying to keep his miles up. He's not even really run that many miles compared to a lot of his competition at the state level. But we have Hershey this weekend, and we weren't backing it down too much going into Hershey. You can't back down for everything because it might affect us when it matters at the end of the season. So I shot him a text last night. And I said, why don't you get a 5-mile run in the morning and get a few strides in there, and then we'll bike and do some strength work in the afternoon. And he's like, no problem. He always makes it happen. If he can't for some reason meet me, we have him on Strava. I can see his runs. He doesn't miss anything. And then he's just such a likable kid. I mean, I always say, if you don't like Logan Strasser, you better look at yourself, because he is one special individual. Just, I mean, I'm just so fortunate that I've got to meet him about 2 years ago. I was told about him through a former runner of mine, and I met him, and my first impression was high, and I couldn't believe what he was able to do with working with him in 3 weeks. I said, dude, you got to give running a shot, man. I know you're a soccer player and you love soccer, but you have a God-given gift there that you really need to explore. And it was a little bit of a slow process. He was going to try both of them, and he ended up finally committing last year, 7th in the state in his first year. But yeah, Joey and Wyatt, they're good friends with him, and that makes them work harder. And that's going to be a loss next year without him there. Hopefully, Joey and Wyatt can fill his shoes. They're going to be tough shoes to fill. But yeah, he's not only just a great athlete, just all around. I don't think he has any weakness. He's like a straight A student. But yeah, he's great for my team, whether it be a slow kid on the team or Joey or Wyatt, my second and third guys on the team. He's good for everybody.
You said that you had Strasser now here and Boblets.
Yeah.
How do you personally know? Like, what did you see with Boblets and Strasser? Like, man, they could be good at cross country. I mean, what was it is there certain things you look for in a runner, or what is it that you knew that these two were going to be first class cross country runners?
Well, with Garrett, I kind of helped with Sprack back when he was in 5th grade through the Juniata Valley Striders, and he was like 6th in the country, I believe it was, in the 1500. He was a little bit better at the track stuff at the time, and I talked him into coming out for his Sprack's youth cross country, and he excelled pretty quickly at that. He always never had quite the confidence with cross country because it's longer stuff, but he still, did really great at it. It's hard to compare those two as athletes because Garrett had a process of building that aerobic system from 5th grade up to 11th grade when he won his 2 state golds in track. And I guess it was his 11th grade year. He also got 2nd in the state in cross country. But Logan's a little different. He comes out in his end of his soccer season, his sophomore year. Tim Kelly, one of my former runners, told me about him down there at EJ, and he introduced me to him 3 weeks before a Thanksgiving race down in Newport, and I worked with him for 3 weeks. We did some significant workouts, and each week I kept seeing him get stronger and stronger. We go down to Newport for a 5K, and I thought, I'm gonna pace him through 2 miles, and I'm gonna see what I can do the last mile. And well, the gun went off, and Logan and I are running side by side, and I could just tell through the mile that he was just inching a little bit ahead. Like he was the stronger one of the two of us. We got a little hill after the mile, and Logan's pulling away a little bit. I said, "Hey, go for it." And that day, he was following an ambulance because he didn't really know the course. There was a lot of turns on that course. And we got into the walk race, and the ambulance got stuck behind there. So Logan didn't know where to go, and he's like 5 seconds up the road of me. And I'm yelling up, like telling him to take a left turn, whatever. He lost a few seconds there. I didn't want to win the race being like, him not knowing turns. So he ends up beating me that day by maybe 5 or 6 seconds, runs like a 16:30 something in his first 5K of his life. I'm like, that's freakish. Like that's, I mean, it's not like you spent like 6 or 7 years like Garrett did to build this up. You're coming off of soccer. I know that does something for you, but I don't even think he was quite a starter at the time. So by the end of the season, I don't think they do a lot of stuff for fitness early season. And then if you're not a starter, I don't know how much conditioning you're getting. But I said, his mom was there after the race. I said, he's got it. He's got to give up soccer. I'm telling you, I said, I can make him top 10 in the state by next year. And thankfully it worked out, and he was 7th in the state in that first year. I mean, I honestly thought that off of running a 16:30 something. I thought, what's this kid capable of? So yeah, where's another Logan Strasser going to come out of? I don't know. He's pretty freakish.
What is your philosophy of coaching? How do you feel to make a good cross country runner? What are the elements that they need? What do you need to coach in them? How do you approach coaching and, just to make your whole team the way it is?
Well, my approach is probably a little different than a lot of coaching. I'm not hard. I'm not very hard. I mean, I can be at times, but for the most part, I become these kids' friend, like a really good friend to them. The fact that I still do the stuff myself, I think that they look up to me a little bit that way. I mean, I'm out there spending tons of time with Logan, getting to know him as a person, getting to know other strengths and weaknesses in his life. And I have like a lifetime friend. I don't know if any sport that I'm very fortunate I get to know these kids that are really serious like that, because I spend so much time with them. Someday I won't have that. I'll probably be on a bike beside them when they're running, but for now, I mean, we're out there. I'm logging these miles with those kids, and I think that's a big edge I have. I'm very fortunate I still have the health to do that. But yeah, I have a kind of a laid back, they'll tell you, my wife will tell you when I'm talking, they're not always listening because I'm not like a hard coach. And sometimes they don't hear what I say because they're so used to me just being a laid back coach. But it doesn't work for all of them. But if you get somebody like Logan to get some results, he's a winner. He can be successful with any coach. But yeah, I take a lot of what he says. There's a lot of stuff with social media these days. There's a lot of stuff on the internet these kids that are serious can learn from. And hey, if he has some suggestion, sometimes I'll use it. Like, I'm not stuck on my own ways. So yeah, that approach there. And I mean, I'm looking for somebody who's reliable. That's you got to be consistent. If you want to be a good distance runner, you got to be putting in the time all year round. You can't just be serious when the season's in and then just kind of stay away. You kind of have to work it all year. Unfortunately, some of the kids, most of my top kids, like Garrett Boblitz, he was a soccer player, but then when he was a runner, he was going cross country, indoor track, outdoor track. If you want to compete at the state level against the best, it's pretty much what you got to do. It's pretty hard. Like, I have soccer players mixing up cross country. They do pretty well because soccer keeps them pretty fit, but it's not the same thing. And they'll be somewhat successful, but they won't show the improvements of a runner who's committed all the time. Even if you compare somebody with equal ability of soccer and a cross country runner, they're just not going to progress the same.
We are here with Jeff Miller, Juniata cross country coach. If you just tuned in on the press box, and we want to announce our we're going to have a brand spanking new website coming. It's thepressboxpa.com. We're going to have this podcast, live streams, different shows, articles, events, and we're eventually going to start streaming events pretty soon, and it'll all be at thepressboxpa.com. Yeah, let's get specifically to Strasser. He ran 15:44 at BVI, which puts him, I looked at mile split in the Class 2A rankings, third behind number one Colin Whitaker, who's run a 15:04:30, and Ryan, I hope I'm saying it right, Pajak.
Yeah, yep, we know those guys.
From Ringgold ran a 15:30, but overall, really impressive. Strasser is third in the 2A rankings, and if you take the whole state, no matter what class, he's sixth overall. How do you think? What do you think his chances are of being there with a chance at the gold?
Just as good as anybody's. He has a good head and his shoulders. When you get into a race, when it comes crunch time, he gives it his all. So that's one thing I've seen with him, especially with track, with cross country last year. He's a competitor. He'll throw it all out there. I mean, he was so close to winning the 3,200 in track and field there, and he gave it his best. Luckily he has another year to try to get that gold in track. But in cross country, we got some of the best. It just doesn't get any easier. We got some of the best double-A guys that he's got to duke it out to try to win gold than we've ever had in the state. There's about three of them there. There's a There's one that's not on that ranking. It's just because he hasn't run a fast time, but his name's Rory Lieberman from Danville. And he was like, he's triple A for track, but he's double A for cross country. So we have to worry about him. But he has a 2 mile about 10, 12 seconds faster than Logan. So, Logan's actually somewhat friends with him. They're just, it's great to be competitors, but real friends too. But there's just him and that Ryan Pajak and Colin Whitaker, which I beat Logan last year in states. The thing is I'm hoping what I'm doing with training that Logan will peak at the right time. And some of these other guys, I'm seeing these fast times that they're running. I'm hoping that maybe they're throwing a little bit too much at it right now. Where Logan and I are both hoping that they're, because Ryan Pajak last year, he won Hershey Foundation. Right, actually, I think he won Hershey Foundation and Paul Short, and then Logan beat him at states because he was throwing a little bit too much emphasis on the earlier races. So we're trying to be real careful with that. I talk all season. I don't care about Big Valley. I don't care about Hershey. I don't care about any of these. It's districts and states. That's where it really matters. So it's, when you have a chance to get a team to states and you have a chance like Logan to win states, I think you have to set those big goals, and everything else is a process to get in there. A lot of my dual meets, they're workouts for us. They're not running all out 5Ks. We were down Susquehanna on a heli course last week, and I told them run the hills hard, run the downhills easy, be safe on there, no rolled ankles, and you can't always pick your schedule, completely. So we make the best of that schedule, and we try to break up in different type of workouts within. I told them before, I don't think too many sports would be doing this, but I'm like, I could care less if we win or lose these dual meets, because get this team to states is the number one goal. If we take a loss and it's a step forward to win in districts, that's what it's all about.
Right. How do you strike that balance between getting these guys to peak at the right time and not burn them out? Do you back off some during the season?
Yeah, we've had some little mini breaks probably after most of my series. I only have Logan going running like 6 days a week. He don't train more than 6 days a week unless it's on the bike. But after we have a week and a half, about like a week and a half, we have Paul Short. We'll take a couple of days where we won't run there, but we bike today to recover. I make sure we're fully recovered. I don't try to put in hard workouts like 3 days apart or anything. I don't do anything that takes risk. I can't afford to lose any of my guys, and we're already doing very well on what we did off of summer. So I think it's best to be a little bit on the safe side right now and slowly work in that intensity as the season goes here for Logan, so he can drop some more time to be in competition to win a state gold.
How much is the mental?
Sorry, Kenny, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. How much is the mental aspect? Is it as important as the physical aspect of running?
Oh, most definitely. Like I said, you train all summer to be a good cross country runner. You truly have to train all summer. There's a saying that cross country is a summer sport played out in the fall, and that means that you put in all the work in the summer. If you don't do that work, you're not going to be that successful in the fall. So you do all that work in the summer. You still got to race throughout the season, but the mental part of you don't like. That's one of the, my thoughts of mixing up the bike a little bit, because it's if you want to be good, you got from June until November. So you want to keep them mentally fresh when it counts. So, not trying to win every meet is one way of doing that for me. Otherwise, not racing all out for these 5Ks. You just can't race out all out if you got 2 a week. Making workouts out of them, making a little bit of fun, break it up, and instead of just going out and running that hard 5K, maybe doing so many minutes of hard running with a few minutes of easy running or something like that in a race. We'll do some of that. I actually had down at Susquehanna, because I didn't have them running that hard down there. I had them follow up with going down on Susquehanna's track, and we did a workout with some fast stuff afterwards just to get some leg speed in that day. But yeah, not run. I mean, a lot of our workouts really, probably 80% of our stuff's not really that hard. So we just go out there and try to enjoy each other's company and run and talk about anything, comes to mind while we're out there. But yeah, you're definitely right on the mental part of it with running. It's you gotta in the race. You gotta be tough as nails if you want to be winning like a state gold. Those guys don't win those golds easily. They definitely have a good mindset to be able to win them physically and mentally.
That's how you can tell, Jeff, that I'm a lazy sports writer and you're a runner, because I would never look at a 5K as fun.
No, it's rewarding. Running is a little different than a lot of these other sports. It's so easy. Like, soccer, you may have coaches say, yeah, he looks a lot better than he did last year or whatever. And a lot of that can be a matter of opinion. With running, especially with track, times don't lie. If you're improving your time, that shows all your hard work. It's kind of like working hard at a job and getting bonuses, to keep you motivated. In running, you get time dropped, and that's like, wow, all this hard work, it's paying off. And you set big goals, you hit those goals, and then you set some more goals. You're never really truly happy as a runner. You're happy for the day, but you're always setting bigger goals because you kind of get a little greedy. You always want more.
What do you think he has to do, Logan, to cut down on his time and get closer to Whitaker?
We just need to make sure he stays healthy. Logan is a very gifted athlete. When race day comes, when it matters, I'm not worried about that. He'll have his head in the shoulders. We just need to make sure that he's rested up properly through any kind of hard stuff we do. We got a hard weekend coming up here with Foundation this weekend. That course is very difficult. He wasn't successful at the Foundation meet last year. Luckily, he pulled through at States on the same course. But, he actually told me here in a text last night, he goes, well, I could try to get some extra miles on Sunday after Foundation. I said, let's not take any chances. If you do anything, we'll go for a bike ride. So little things like that. I mean, he has to do all the little things. Make sure he's staying hydrated, eats good, gets enough rest, stretches, does any kind of massaging he needs, lets me know about anything that's bothering him so I can back him down a little bit. That's pretty much what we got to keep doing. And I just looked last night of some areas where I can throw in some good intensity workouts with him. And sometimes that gets hard to do with all the meets, but some of these meets will be throwing the workouts within the meet. But I have enough spaces in there, I feel like, that are good timing to get in good workouts that he can still get recovery before the next race. So we got, I think it's 5 weeks from this weekend till districts, 6 weeks till states. I think we're in a good place right now. Everybody, knock on wood, everybody's healthy, and that's the main thing right now. I think trying to overdo it would be our biggest mistake.
Now, will you be using this trip down to Hershey as like a measuring stick to see where everybody is at this point, to look down the road at states?
Well, not really. I trained through this week. We did a really hard workout last night. I would have never did that if we were trying to really taper for Hershey. We're going down there. I told Logan, I said, well, if you don't run well down there, you can blame me because of that hard workout. But we're going down there to get another feel for that course. That one's kind of different than most with all the steep downhills, the steep uphills. It's just a really different course than most we do that takes multiple times to really master. So get on there. Logan's going to actually see all these guys that I mentioned and you mentioned that are like state contentions for state gold that Logan has to go against. He's going to see these guys this weekend, and he's kind of like the, I guess, more or less the underdog there, and that's probably not a bad place to be. Just following them, see what their strengths and weaknesses are throughout the course, and hopefully come away with it some confidence that that he trusts what I'm doing. That come crunch time at the end of October and early November, that if we're a little bit behind these guys come this weekend, that we can still be right there with them come that time. So we're not throwing too much emphasis on this. It's just one of those times that we need to. It looks like we're going to have over 300 in the race, so that's important for us to, especially for Logan, to get out like he'll have to at the state meet and get up there in the top 25 within the first 400 meters or so. So that's good for him. And I have a couple of those guys, my fourth and fifth runner between Wesley and Levi. They need to run this course and be smart about it. And because I get that team to states, I'd like to think we could get maybe a top 6 as a double A team at states. I haven't really looked at it real closely, maybe better, but kind of looking where Central Cambria was last year, and I think we're as good as they were last year. So they were like 6 last year in the state. That's probably where I get that number, but that's not something I put too much emphasis on. We haven't had a team to get the states there, so I don't want to dwell on it too much.
Yeah, but you agree it should be them and you in District 6, definitely.
Yeah, actually, this year, Sprecher actually told me this. Some of the things shifted. Central Cambria has gone to single A, so they're not our top. Yeah, so they're not our top competition. Which I was ready. I was kind of ready for them, even if they were going to be there. I felt it was going to be close, but we could still beat them. Looks like right now it's Bellefonte, which we beat at BVI, but anything's possible. You don't know if they have somebody injured. You always got to plan for the worst. We just need to be at our best. And I think if we're at our best, I think that should be good enough. So we'll just have to run smart come districts. Wesley and Levi, they don't have a lot of experience, so I don't want them to go out over their heads and get in trouble too early in the race. So I might even actually have Logan in a dual meet here work with them a little bit, even if he has to take a loss, just so he can help those guys a little bit with their pacing. So we can, in the end, it really comes down to the times. Getting the times down will take care of everything. And if Logan can help their pacing a little bit, they're new to the sport, and they can run a little faster than they have already just by better pacing. So Logan is really good at pacing. For how longer he's been running, he is so good at finding paces to pace people, and that's where he comes into play at times too. I'll probably have him help Joey and Wyatt a little bit too. He don't have to win everything. He's not a hog. He'll give up some wins there for his teammates for sure.
That's good. So you have to like where you are and what you've done as a program. You're not that old of a program, and I didn't know about Central Cambria, so you're definitely the favorite in Double A.
Yeah, we should be.
Well, what are your thoughts on that? How fast this program is on the boys' side has become a district and hopefully a state power?
Yeah, that's it's pretty amazing because we still don't have that many numbers. I have 6 full-time cross-country boys, and I have 2 mixed in soccer and cross-country, which is very difficult. So for all the more numbers I have, it's just really, I've been very fortunate the way things worked out. Me not being a teacher or anything down there, it's not like I'm seeing these kids every day, but these kids can be my biggest recruiters by trying to get their friends out and stuff. That's what I hope in the process, that they have some success. I mean, Sylvia Brubaker, my 8th grader who's committing more to running, is she told me already that Garrett Boblitz inspired her back in some years ago, and he was setting the world on fire on track when she was going to watch her sister jump. So little things like that can, one athlete lead to another. I got Joey Baumberger through a 5K at the Port Royal Speedway last summer. He was no intentions on going out for cross country, and he ran, and we asked him afterwards if he's doing a fall sport, and he said he wasn't. I said, well, you are now. And he's turned out he's got a lot of talent. He works as hard as anybody. And when Logan's going, him and Wyatt are just so close to each other. Great training partners. They get along. That's great to have for cross country, to have two guys that can do workouts that are just right there pushing each other in races, pushing each other. So, hopefully if we get this team to states this year and we can place high at states, maybe that will open some eyes and some talent out there, that guys that can run will want to be a part of it. And maybe we can slowly build a tradition there.
That'd be great.
You guys implemented a junior high squad this year first. Just your thoughts on how that's been going so far.
We got quite a few initially, but then we did find out that we got like 11 or 12 signed up. And then we did find out like 75% of them were soccer players that we weren't necessarily going to see all the time. So we have a lot of that going on too with the junior high. But we have Sylvia Brubaker, who's definitely the future female distance runner of Juniata. I mean, I'm really excited about her because, I can't do all these workouts with Logan anymore. That workout last night, I would have loved to have been up there with him. There was no way. I would have killed myself. I'd be probably the best in the world at my age group if I could have. But Sylvia, I could still run with a state champion girl. And that's one thing that she commits to cross country, that hopefully I'll have the health for her, all of her years, that I can just kind of work her up, pacing her and everything. The 1 year Garrett got hurt in a winter season, and I was able to work with Clay Yeager better that year. I seen huge improvements with him, just being able to run by his side through so much training runs. He made big improvements in that next spring in track season. So that was Sylvia, by me being able to kind of work her up to a different level with me being able to still run. But she's gave up junior high basketball to concentrate on cross country, and it's proven already to be a success, because she was like a 22:40 something 5K runner on the road. And this past weekend we took her down to Milton, and she ran, I think it was a little long too, and she ran a 20:12. She took like 2.5 minutes off her 5K.
Nice.
So she's extremely pumped up about her, her future. It's hard for me to keep it under control at times. It's just how blessed she is, and just how gifted she is, and what she's capable of. I don't want to throw too much out there what I think she can do yet, but I have some other junior high girls too that I don't have as many boys as I do girls, which is not a bad thing, because I've always struggled for even getting 5 high school girls to make a team. And I've always had to have other sports between field hockey or cross country help out, just so we could score at times. But I have 5 total junior high girls, and they're going to actually compete at a middle school race here in about a month. And that will be nice if they can score as a team there. But there's talent there for sure. I mean, I have 2 of them that are, one's actually doing junior high basketball, and her name's Caroline. I'm not sure how to pronounce her last name, Henrik or something like that. She's running like 24-minute 5Ks, and she's only in 7th grade, and she's juggling other things. So she has a lot of talent. And we have a Drew Hoffman that's down at EJ. She's being a manager for soccer right now, and she's showing a lot of promise. So we have some talent coming up in the girls. I'm hopefully I can get them to maybe commit to it. It's tough when a lot of these kids are athletes, and they can do a little bit of everything. So they have some tough decisions to make eventually, because if you do them all, you're probably not going to be the best at one. So my best thing is just to try to get the most out of them without getting them hurt, and make cross country a fun experience for them.
Well, it's good.
I have a kid, an Alex Armstrong, that's in 8th grade from Juniata, that juggles soccer, and he's looked really good. I love his personality. I would love to have him next year. He may stick to soccer, but boy, I would love to have him. But we'll just let that ride out and let that be his decision. But when Logan's gone, he would be a great replacement there.
Let's go through these guys a little bit. We'll start with the boys team. You already mentioned Joey. He's run a 17:21, and then Wyatt is 17:30. And you said those two work well together.
Oh my, yeah. The workout last night, they were pushing each other in races. Sometimes one's leading, the other one's leading. They're out to beat each other. They get along, but it makes it so much better. Like if they go in a race and nobody's around them, but they can still push each other because they still want to beat each other just for satisfaction in the end. And then, there's no hard feelings if one beats the other one's like, I'll get you next time. But yeah, if I could get groups like that, man, I could really, that is really key to a team, having training partners. I hate to see in a hard workout like last night to have a kid completely by himself because there's nobody, there's somebody that's either way too strong in front of him or way too weak behind him. So those two, when Logan's gone, that's going to be such a help that those two are so close. They may separate eventually, but right now it looks like they're always going to be, within 10 or 15 seconds in a race. One feeling good one day, they're going to win. The other one, we'll get it next time. But yeah, those two, they're hardworking and they're really dedicated. So.
And next you have in the next level of times Wesley Irisman. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, I believe that's how you pronounce that.
He's 1806, and Levi Zeiters 1822. Talk a little bit about those two.
Oh yeah, they got they're pretty new to running. Levi just committed from soccer there in the spring, and he was working with Coach Sprecher and the Juniata Valley Striders. So it takes they don't realize, and I've said before, it takes a while to build that big engine to be able to run cross country well, and they're already showing a lot of success without a lot of time under their belt. So I can see Wesley. He's got enough ability. He's a very smooth runner, built perfectly for running on a Hershey course, lightweight, strong built. I could see him if I can get him in the same kind of mindset. Not that he's not serious, but he's so new to it. So I'm still trying to figure him out. But if I can get him the same kind of mindset as Wyatt, Joey, and Logan, I can see him being a medalist at states and cross country in the next couple of years. And that would be so great for him.
Yeah.
And Levi's the same way. I don't think Levi really knows how much he's so young. These boys get stronger with age and with work and, training year round. They get stronger with that as long as they love it. Loving it. I don't say they have to love it, but they have to like it enough to be willing to do all the little things. They're going to continue to get better. And I can see Levi and all those top 5 I have right now, they're all capable of getting the top 25 at states somewhere in their high school years. So, that's
great.
That's great. When Logan's going, it's not like, I'm starting fresh again. Hopefully fill his spot, which is going to be tough to try to fill a state champion maybe, but that's all right. I can try to win as a team, and I would like the next year. Garrett won 4 years in districts, district champ 4 years. Logan won last year in his first year. I'm hoping he wins another one. I'm hoping that Joey or Wyatt can be those two can be trying to duke it out for the district champ next year.
Yeah, keep it
going. Yeah, why not?
How about it? Then you have, I hope I'm saying his name right. If I'm not, I apologize. Ricardo Giante.
Yeah, I believe that's how you pronounce it. He's a very talented. I guess I don't know soccer that well, but I think he spent majority of his time doing soccer, and he's just an all-around athlete. I guess he's a really good soccer player too, and he's helping us this weekend at Hershey. He's going to run So he's not, like I said, it's very hard to get better when you are juggling other sports, but he's still getting a feel for cross country, coming out, running pretty good times. He's got enough talent. If he was a full-time cross country runner, he would be, over his high school years, he's a top 25. He's an all-state runner. He's got enough talent there. As long as he did what we do as far as the work and everything, and he liked it enough. He's got enough talent there.
Wow.
So,
Nice.
and then I have Brady Rowe. Yeah, he's got a lot of talent too. Logan's been worked on him for the past year. Was hoping to get him commit totally to cross country. He got a lot better in track season. He's still a strong runner. I wished I would have had 4 years with cross country with him, but it's very difficult. He's a good soccer player. He starts in soccer too, but he's a good personality to have on the team. And, I appreciate just being able to have him when I can get him.
And on the girls' side, you mentioned to me after BBI that Jessica Baumberger, she ran 23:54, that her work ethic was just as strong as Logan's. Talk about her a minute.
Yeah, you're right there. We just did this like 27 or 28 mile bike ride tonight. She was there with me. She's strong on the bike. She does all the little things. I mean, like if she can't be at practice or something, that's just very seldom, she'll say, "What should I do, Jeff?" And she's had, last year she was mixing, her freshman year, she was mixing soccer and cross country. And we just like let her, ride it out, see how she liked it. And she liked it enough at the end of the season. She said, "Next year I'm going to do cross country only." So she trained all summer. She had some hip problems that were setting her back. So I'm very careful with her, making sure I don't do too much with her, because I don't want to see her sideline. She's doing pretty well right now off of like 5 days a week of running, 25 miles a week of running, and some cycling. And she does it all. She's hanging around for 20 minutes after we're done working out, stretching. She's just, like I said, she's there just as much as Logan. She's, who knows what she might be able to get a medal too, before she graduates, with her hard work ethic. She's a scrapper. I'm very, very, and she's a great role model. I was talking about Sylvia Brubaker, my 8th grader, how great she could be. I probably wouldn't have seen that this year if it wasn't for Jessie. Jessie and her got bonded. They become really good friends here in cross country season. And Sylvia told me, like, it just wouldn't be the same without her. So Sylvia would probably be still on the basketball court right now if it wasn't for Jessie. So even though she's only a sophomore, she's kind of my leader, because I don't have a lot of, I don't have anybody really on the team and girls that are like older and have more experience. So she's a good role model as far as right there, Sylvia. She's respectful, does all the hard work, and she's going to keep getting better. She had struggled for a while with her times, and we found out her iron levels were low and got them straightened out, and that really helped her a lot. So she's great to have. She's, like I've told people, I said, if you had a business, you're going to want to hire Jessie, because she's going to be there all the time. She's going to be good to your customers if you have to deal with customers, and she's going to work hard for you. She is a coach's dream, even though she may not be duking it out for a state gold like Logan is this year. It doesn't matter. She gives you everything Logan gives you.
Yeah, you can't teach work ethic, can you?
No, it's very hard. I think when you do love something, that makes a big difference. You will, and she does love what she's doing. So you will do all the little things. Passion is so key to the sport. If you love it, you will do all the little things it takes to find out the best you can be.
And the rest of the girls, you still have, I think I know you don't have a full team, but Aspen EB,
yeah,
Estefania Matthews, and Haley Muma.
Yeah. Aspen she transferred from Mifflin County. She had not run before. So she's pretty new to this, but she's eager to get better. She was telling me last night her quad was bothering her. She goes, but I'm not stopping, And I said, well, you might have to get you on the bike if it gets too bad. But she's been a nice addition to the team. She fits in real well. Her personality fits in real nice with the team. And I have to be careful with her because she wants to do more, but she's not ready for it. And I don't want to get her hurt. I want cross country to be a good experience for her. So, sometimes I don't know if she totally understands that I might not have her doing quite as much as Jesse, but Jesse's been working all summer. Aspen just kind of just made a decision at the last minute to do cross country, when she transferred down. So I have to find a happy medium with her, with what she wants to do and what she should be doing. So I try to keeping her healthy is the big thing there, and she's going to keep getting better as long as I keep her healthy and from her doing too much. Nia, that's her nickname. I guess that's what they call Stefana. Nia, she's from JCS also, and I had seen her when I was helping Logan down at EJ and track, and I talked to her about cross country. So she's juggling soccer also, but she is coming a big chunk of our cross country meets. She's contributing there and running pretty decent. So she's a nice addition there to help out our girls team. We have Brooklyn Herald. She's had a foot injury from the very beginning of the season. Before it's an injury from the past that she's struggling to get straightened out so she can run more. She was able to compete in our home meet, but she's had to drop out of a few from a foot injury that I think. Then we have Haley Muma, who is a very good athlete. I would love to have her full time, but I guess she's a pretty good soccer player. But she's kind enough. She has a great personality. She's very likable. She helps us out quite a bit, and she's got a lot of talent herself. I don't know I guess I do get to work with her in track and distance, but cross country is a little different because cross country I have the whole summer to get these kids fit, and then we have when mandatory starts, so it starts way back into June. With outdoor track, these kids are coming from basketball or whatever. I don't really get to see some of them until 4 weeks before our first meet, so I have a big edge with cross country to do things more right as far as distance training. So Haley, I've never really had the opportunity to see what she would be able to do over a training, just running over like a 5-month period. But I'm just very thankful we do have her. She's a junior now, so we'll have her throughout this season and next season. But I think she'll continue to help us out. But she's a good role model on the team also.
And this weekend is the Goose Day run, which should be called the Jeff Miller Invitational. Before we got on the air, I didn't realize it was that much. You've won it 25 times. 25 and 2, you said?
Yeah, I lost 2 of them. One at a 5K distance, and then I lost a 10K distance back. I don't know. It's probably in the 90s. But I missed a lot of them along the way since I've been into coaching, and then I got into bike racing there for a period of time. But I always made the Goose Day race. Locally, that was the big deal race around here. It used to be on the radio, and it was a pretty big deal. It's still a big deal. It hasn't changed, but for me, it was like, in the fact it's my birthday's on Goose Day, it kind of made it more like meaningful for me to keep the tradition going. And I wouldn't mind doing more. I think I could probably win a couple more, but
they don't want you to. The competition doesn't want you to show up.
Yeah, I've been told that. But I mean, I'll be down to Hershey, but I'll have just as much fun down there. Maybe in the next couple of years, the timing will be right, and maybe I can do another one if I got the health. But that was always like my Super Bowl, I guess, locally for me to do. Even when I got into bike racing there, I was like, I gave up running for a couple years there because of just constantly injuries, knee injuries and stuff from running. And I would like come back after my cycling season and train 6 weeks of running and go in there and try to win that just because it meant so much to me. But yeah, I definitely do miss that. And I hope somebody always keeps that going. If I ever give up coaching, maybe I'll be the one to try to keep that race going in the future. But yeah, that's been kind of, I guess, locally as a runner, that's somewhat kind of what I'm known for with that, as the Goose Day race. But I pretty much never gave up running or cycling since high school. I made it a priority in my life. Some people probably think that's great, but I've definitely sacrificed a lot too. I could have made a lot more money in my life if I wouldn't have been so serious about my hobbies with running and biking. But I mean, I have a lot to be proud of, and I don't think I would change life. And all of it goes back to Ron Sprecher. I mean, he's the guy that got into my head in high school that I had, lots of abilities, and he believed in me. He was like another father to me, and without him, I wouldn't be coaching today. So, one person like that can make a huge positive impact in your life, and I owe so much to him.
Yeah, and anybody that's listening out there who's running Goose Day, if you missed it, what he said, Jeff will not be there, so you have a chance to win. Jeff, hey, I really appreciate you taking the time to be with us today on the show.
Yeah, thanks.
Really do appreciate it. And I know Juniata is the favorite in District 6, and I hope it all works out and maybe even do well at states on the team side. And thank you for coming on, and good luck for the rest of the season.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. Thanks a lot.
All right. That is Jeff Miller, the head coach of the Juniata Indians cross country team, favorite in District 6, and could be a placer in states. We hope so. How about it, Kenny?
Oh, definitely. Keep your eye on these guys. They're going places.
And we want to announce something. We're pretty excited about it. How about it, Mr. Varner?
Most definitely.
We will, and I'm going to put it up here in our little notes here. We will be starting a high school football show tomorrow. It'll be every Thursday from 5 to 6, the Press Box High School Football Show. Kenny and myself will run down the upcoming games for Mifflin Center and Juniata County's little preview, and hopefully we'll be able to expand this across the state eventually. And we have a guest for tomorrow, Brian Rogers, head coach of and owner of the Mifflin County Tomahawks semi-pro team and former defensive line coach, for Mifflin County on their 2013 District 6 championship team. Will be here to talk about this rendition, the 2022 Huskies, who have a chance to go 4-1 for the first time since that 2013 district championship team. So we're going to have this every Thursday, 5 to 6, Press Box High School Football Show, previewing upcoming games from Mifflin County, Juniata, State College, Bellefonte, Bald Eagle area, Phillipsburg, and Penns Valley. Should be pretty fun, huh, Kenny?
Oh, it sure will. We'll be all over the place in Center County and Mifflin.
And I'll get out. I even got, with our little brand of the Press Box, I even got our football show there.
Sweet.
The Press Box High School Football Show banner. And another reminder real quickly before we go off is that we have one more time. We're going to have our own branded website. It is the pressboxpa.com. That'll be up and running pretty soon. We're going to have articles, features, columns. This podcast will be on it too. We're still going to stream on Facebook and YouTube, but it'll be on the website also. And eventually, we would like to start streaming live events. Isn't that right, Mr. Varner?
That's going to be exciting. Yep. I can't wait. It's been a long time coming.
All right, that's going to about wrap it up. Anything else to add, Kenny?
Just thanks for listening, everybody.
Yes, thank you. We've been getting a good response so far, better than we thought for just starting out. This is only our third episode. We really do appreciate it, and thank you. And
Definitely.
we will be back next week with the press box, and we'll have a guest announced pretty soon. But tomorrow, tune in for the high school football show, the press box high school football show. What an original name, Kenny. And we'll talk football. It's going to be fun. Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.
Good night.
See you soon.